You know the Soul, it's the car that fired the first volley to let the world know that Kia was going to be the urban cool cousin of Hyundai. What's really changed for 2012 is under this hood, where they used to have some pretty anemic little four-cylinders hooked up to a 4-speed automatic that would not have been unfamiliar to the Jodes when they crossed from Oklahoma. But before we see these changes, let's go inside. Inside, things are cheap and cheerful, as you might imagine, and a distinctive look. You've got this sort of, pill-shaped center console in this car. Because we have a premium audio system, you've got a very pronounced center channel speaker. We've also got some tweeters up here, and the remaining, I think, 4 speakers around the cabin. That all tells you that we've got the premium sound. Your base sources on this car are going to be AM, FM, CD, satellite radio, aux and USB. Kia and Hyundai have been very aggressive about putting that in at low trim levels. How you control those systems is through the UVO interface. UVO is basically your voice. I think that's what it stands for. This button here lets you do voice command of hands-free calling. That's pretty common. Audio system and navigation. None of those are groundbreaking, but in a car at this price level, it is.
Command, please.
Find address.
Find address.
We do have Bluetooth streaming on this guy, but unfortunately no meta tag information. It won't tell you what artist or song is playing, at least not with my Droid Razor. Now, as you can see on our navigation system, it's not a huge screen, but that's about as big as the console allows, so it's the best they could do. You see we have a serious traffic icon here. You do have traffic information live. The interface is common to Hyundai and Kia products we've seen before, but it's simple, it's touch, there's no controller to speak of, and it responds quickly. I like the way this guy moves around. I mean, look at that. I can bounce around that map and not lose it. The premium audio, by the way, is Infinity stuff. It's also got better amplification. The part of it that makes me nuts, and it's not going to get in your way, is the fact that we have these color lights on the speakers. Have you seen these? You can set the color to be off. That's what I do. Or set it to music, where they pulse mostly to the bass in the music. Or set it to mood, where they just do this mood thing independent of the music. You can change the color by pushing and the intensity with the rocker switch. That's an awful lot of engineering for something that's pretty much useless. And as part of the UVO package, strangely, you also get the rear view camera bundled in with that. I don't know what they have to do with each other. Oh, by the way, this power steering is electric to help the MPG. Okay, not much has changed in the look of the Soul. The sheet metal's all the same, but with some small changes here in the front. Bigger fog light pockets, little different shape on the alien mouth, which goes with the alien eyes. Oh, and by the way, the paint's called Alien 2, or Alien Barf, depending on your point of view. And you'll also spot one of these guys by LED daytime running lights, front and tail lights, if it's a high trim car. Okay, here's the engine, well, somewhere in here. Way down here, sitting down low. That's because it's not a very big thing, but it doesn't need to be. This is a new technology motor. Now, they used to have some pretty anemic 4 cylinders in these cars. They're still 4s, but now modern technology. Your base engine, the Soul, now has direct injection, which is kind of the technology in gas engines these days, but it's only a 1.6. We have a high trim car. This is the highest trim Soul. It's got a 2-liter motor, 164 horse, 148 foot-pounds of torque. Gets this guy up to 60 in about 7 seconds. That's not a huge feat because it only weighs 2,700 pounds. I have relatives who weigh that much. MPG is good though, 2634. If you get the base car with a scrawnier engine, you get 2735 MPG and a little slower 0 to 60. I don't think it's worth it for that 1 MPG gain. Just keep your tires pumped up and you can do that much better. Now, I've mentioned before, when I drive these cars, right when they arrive at the CNET garage, first time I get in, I don't look at the badges at all. I don't want to know what the powertrain is. I want to guess, because that tells me how well it's doing its job. So when I got in this car, I figured it was a 2-liter Ford. That's pretty obvious. But I thought it had a CVT, a continuously variable transmission. In fact, it's got a 6-speed with real gears. That's not a good thing, because the CVT is kind of a slippery thing in most cars, kind of an indecisive gearbox, and this one feels that way to me. And I've got this eco button up here. When I engage that and I see that light, the car is really going to modulate acceleration to use the least amount of gas. There's no electrical technology here, no battery regen, no auto start stop. That's coming in a future Soul. But it makes the car very numb, so I disengage it, and it's still got lots of weird hunting. So not a fan of the gearbox programming. It's not awful, but other Hyundais and Kias I've driven have really sharp, decisive transmissions, and that's a big part of a car feeling responsive. Beyond that, it's a nice little car to drive. I mean, it's taut, it's firm, it's not much fun to toss in corners. It's kind of, shall we say, rudimentarily sprung, but the build quality is good all around. It seems to be bolted together pretty well. It does feel it's lightweight. The car definitely feels very featherweight, and it is. Okay, a Kia Soul can be had for about $17,000 in this Plus trim level, which is where I'd start because that's where you get into the 2-liter motor. Unfortunately, all the CNET style tech is still missing at that price point. So add in $2,500 more to get to the Exclaim trim level. That's going to roll in 18s, 6-speed automatic, the UVO system, a hard drive for media if you care, and the Infinity sound on the output side. Then another $2,300 for the premium package. That will get you hard drive navigation, the rear view camera, automatic temperature control, and heated leather seats.